I think he's the best prospect we've ever seen in terms of coming into the NBA, what he could become. I think, like Richard Jefferson said, if LeBron James was in this draft, Victor Wembanyama would still go number one.
That is not
That
ridiculous to say that.
that
It is
doesn't
not.
mean Victor Wembanyama is going to have a better career than
Right.
LeBron, or he's going to become better than LeBron. But as a prospect,
Mm-hmm.
he's the best prospect we've ever seen, in my opinion, especially built for this modern NBA. A 7'4" guy, put the ball on the floor, shoot from anywhere. The defensive potential is through the roof, but it's just about him being strong enough, staying healthy, and just putting it all together. Because right now the offensive game is raw. I think like when he went 7 for 11, that's just he had a great night. That's not something
But
sustainable
Mark,
right
what did he
now.
do the next night though? And
He
keep
was
in
at
mind,
2 for 9 from three.
it's
He was at two
it,
for nine from three the next game. Like it's
okay.
not
Keep in mind,
sustainable to shoot
it's
seven
only a
for 11.
9-game clip. It's only a 9-game clip.
Yeah, it's not.
He's
It's
shooting
he's
42%.
yeah, he's not. It's not a sustainable level of shooting because I watched him in Europe last year. It's a different game. The shooting wasn't there. He has potential to become a good shooter, but he's not going to be 40% his first year in the NBA. Like that's not going to happen. But he could be first year like 16 points a game, just simply off like a Zion type 16, where you don't have to draw up many plays for him. He's going to run the floor in transition. He's going to get lobs. He can spot up like instantly in the NBA. And his defense, he could be an all defensive candidate first year, similar to Evan Mobley. It's just whether or not he can adjust to the NBA game fast enough, in my opinion.
When I watch him, go
ahead, chill.
When I watch him, he looked to me like Ralph Sampson with a handle and a jump shot. That's what I see when I see him, and his ability to rim protect. The thing that concerns me with him is his health, but he just looks more stable and he looks sturdier than like Chet Holmgren. He definitely looks more filled out than those guys, and he looks like he'll be able to basically sustain that. And as he gets older, he'll be able to fill out a little bit more. So his skill set is just going to improve. I've said this, Tone and I have had this conversation. He looks to me like he's the future of the NBA, that in the next 10 to 15 years, that this is what the NBA is going to look like. It's going to be a bunch of 6'10" to 7'3", 7'4" dudes running around, shooting the long ball and handling the basketball. And it looks like it's not only going to start with him, it's just going to get enhanced by him. That's what it looks like for me.
Lo, how you feel about Victor?
No, I more or less agree. I don't know if there's going to be that many more copycats because when you get to that height, I mean, as we all know, trying to stay healthy becomes a consistent problem.
Right.
If he stays healthy, he would be more or less an anomaly. So I think it normally caps out around the 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot area with the ADs, Giannis's, KDs, Garnett's, around that range. Somebody 7'4", he would be more or less an anomaly of an anomaly. But yeah, like I mean, it's very clearly what he could be. I'm not going to speak as if like I know like the prospects of yesteryear, like Kareem and Bill Walton and them coming in, but since LeBron, undeniably he's the best prospect I've seen since LeBron. So I think that speaks high marks to him because I mean AD, Kevin Durant, Greg Oden, Zion, they were all amazing heading into the league. So the simple fact that he is in that conversation alone let you know he's obviously a can't miss. The one thing that I do personally like about him is, like everybody's saying, he handles himself very well physically and has solid body control for somebody his height. Even if he's not like a consistent shot creator like that, I don't really think it's going to matter off the dribble as much, mainly just because it looks like he has really good body control.
Mm-hmm. The footwork. He showed me a lot though in those 2 games against the Ignite. The looks that he was getting basically off creating.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm not sold on it too much is because when you get in the NBA and teams are scheming against you, he'll be able to get away with that with some of the bottom feeding teams, and that's cool. But the harder teams will scheme against him a certain way, and more than likely what they're going to do is just put smaller forwards on him or smaller guards to kind of like get at his handle. So he has to have a really tight handle. I know he's gonna have to have one in the NBA, but he definitely has. Like he's shown. I agree with you. He's shown a lot of potential. No doubt. Like without a doubt.
Fluent. You were saying that you don't really like him. You think he's overhyped. I want to know what prospects do you think are possibly better than him? After you tell us really why you don't think he's gonna be all of that.
All right. There isn't a prospect in his class that's going to be better than him for raw potential because of his size and his already ability. I'd say Kareem was probably more of a higher prospect coming out of college than this kid is. But that being said, what I don't like is I don't like these super tall, skinny kids. More of them fail than succeed. So I haven't probably watched. I'll be upfront. I probably have not of the panel. I've watched the least of this guy play. So I'll be upfront with that. I don't like these tall, skinny kids. They always have health issues, staying healthy, staying on the court for the most part. So I don't want to get too high on an 18-year-old. That's all. I'm not saying anything negative about him. I always want to wait and see. I said, look, Zion, we're going to see this year. But what did I tell everybody about Zion? I said he's too heavy. He doesn't walk right. He doesn't know how to land. He's going to be hurt. What happened in his first few years? Doesn't know how to walk right. Doesn't know how to land, and he's been hurt. I hope he gets healthy and better, and I hope he slims down. And so far this offseason, we're kind of seeing that, I think.
Kinda? No, we're not kind of seeing that. No, he looks fantastic, Tom. He looks fantastic.
He looks fantastic right now. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. I agree. But that's what I said early in his career, unless he does something. If this kid doesn't fill out, it's going to be hard for him to be as successful as you guys are having him all defensive, all NBA by second year. I think that's really high expectations. I think it's too high for him.
Well, when you're talking about a guy who is,
I'm not saying he won't be there year 4, year 5. I'm not saying year 2 and year 1. Like Mars said, all defensive year 1, and Lowe said all NBA year 2. I think that's too high.
why? And
Evan Mobley was
I just said
borderline. Evan Mobley was borderline. All
he was going to make the
Yeah,
All-League
I said,
defensive
yeah.
team. Before Evan Mobley got hurt, he was going to make the
I think
All-League defensive
Wembanyama
team.
has similar potential.
Yeah,
coming
he
in.
was absolutely going to do
You
that.
hit the nail on the head. Before he got hurt, he was.
Yeah, before
right?
Evan Mobley got
That's what
hurt.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ask him to do that in year 1 and 2. I think it's high. I think it's too high.
I'm not saying I expect it. I'm saying he has the potential.
I'm
to
not
do
saying.
so.
We just say he
Okay. If we're
can.
seeing
He can.
potential. Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna
Well,
go
that's
out
what we
on a
got
limb
off
and say he's
anyway,
gonna
Tom,
be all
because
defense.
go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
he has
Mark.
the ability. He has the ability.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It just
Okay.
projects
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
All right.
Yo, Ticket, how do you feel about Victor and what he's going to
Let
do?
me cook these two dudes real quick, Low and Fluent. I'm going to ask you 2 questions real quick, Ron. Ron, how long you been watching Victor?
I've been watching Victor since I think he came on the scene around 2019.
Right. Does he have a reputation of being injury prone?
Not that I know of, not from what I've seen.
Right. No, he doesn't. And has he played in a tougher league than what basically we would call the NBA right now, a league that plays a tougher style of basketball?
He played in the Euro League last year. He played for Asvel.
Okay, so let's get to the point. And I want to, this is what I want everybody to understand, because see, when I come in here, like I said, I know I'm on the road. I got to go get 50 every night on the road to get a win over here, right? Watch this. When we saw Jokic come in the league, and this is for all these dudes that say overrated and stuff like this, right? Jokic, Giannis, Luka, the list goes on with all of the players, international players have come in the league, all the great international players, right? All the way down the line, Tim Duncan, everybody else that played, all these all-time great players. Half the league right now that's the best players in the league are not even from the United States of America, right? Plus the players that's in the league. Who you ever seen come in the league with footwork like this kid got in the post when he's catching it, doing the dream shake, right? The last time we saw somebody doing that type of stuff is Kareem. Dream shaking, fading away out of bounds, 7'5", hitting shots, leaning out of bounds, hitting threes, leaning, falling out of bounds, hitting threes at 7'5", pulling up, can't nobody block his shot, pulling up in transition, like KD, the same stuff KD doing, but at 7'5". Shot unblockable, takes it to the rack hard, good touch around the basket, can finish around the rack, can finish strong around the rack, will dunk on your face, does have to be more consistent rebounding, and attentive on defense a little bit more, but has a good, you know what I'm saying, great knack for blocking shots. Bro, I'm going to say this now, I'm going to say it again. He's better than any other international player that was scouted coming into the NBA. When you saw him play in America for 2 days, they said they had better reviews for him than any other international player, and that's saying a lot. More than Jokic, MVP twice. More than Giannis, MVP twice. More than, and we talking about Giannis every week on this show, like he can be one of the top 5 greatest players to ever play the game. Victor right now, coming into the league, is more skilled than any player you've ever seen, maybe outside of Hakeem Olajuwon, but I'm talking about at 18 years old.
That's where I was going with it. I'm glad you cleared that up, because that's where I was going with it.
Facing you up, the Carmelo jab step, backing you down, dream shake, fade away, up and under, leaning. I ain't never seen nothing like it before, bro. 7'5", who's going to block his shot? Who? And when Lowe said teams can scheme for him, how can you scheme for somebody that you can't block their shot?
You just attack him before he pulls up. I mean, I'm not saying Again, because you making it seem like I'm saying he's
basket. And guess what? If you double team him, guess what? He looks right over top of the defense and makes an easy pass to the cutter.
Now, I want to see that more often though. The problem though is that they were
sample size though. The sample size
it's a very small sample size.
Small.
It's a very
so
small sample size.
You brought up he played for Asavell or whatever. 16 games, averaged 9 points a game. It's at 18 minutes. The sample size is so small. Hold on. The sample size is so small. And then you compared him to Jokic and Giannis. Jokic and Giannis did now. Doncic is an exception to the rule, but those two guys took years to develop. They didn't come into the league ready. So that's my biggest thing is that I don't think he's gonna be that guy right out the gate.
Fluent, I got a lot of love for you, Fluent, but this is what I'm saying to you, bro.
He hate me.
Look where his skill level is at right now.
I hate you too, Chill.
Fluent, skill level is unbelievable. Now, Fluent, let me ask you 2 questions. Just like Chill always say, what is going to happen when he comes to now? His skill level is at that now. What's going to happen when he comes to the NBA? When he get around these NBA cats?
Now, I agree with you on that. The fact that this is the worst that he will ever be is crazy. That's crazy.
That's why with Chilltown say that.
That's crazy.
This is the worst. This is the worst he'll ever be.
Well, outside of him being
Are you saying nobody's come into the NBA, gone onto the wrong team, hasn't gotten coached well, and has gotten worse from what they did in college?
But you understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
more than likely, you don't want me to take you literal.
Yeah, but more than likely he'll do nothing more but improve at this point in his career. Okay. So the fact that like as raw as he is, regardless of whatever level of rawness you want to say he's at, the fact that he's this raw and this is what the product looks like at this stage of his career.
So we're basically seeing him at the basement. That's what we're seeing.
If this is his basement,
and we're saying
crazy.
Hopefully those skills improve.
Yeah.
He puts in the work.
I just don't see how they can't, Tone. When I look at a guy like this, when I look at his skill, I don't see how he can't improve. Barring any injuries.
But that's the big one too, right? Barring any injuries.
But that's with any player, Tone. Any big guy. That's not a situation where we just talking about him in particular. That's with any player, barring injury or any health issues. When I look at this kid, I don't think that there's a situation where he won't improve and get better. And if he's going to get better, once again, I think I'm looking at the future of the NBA. This is what the NBA is going to look like in the next 10, 15 years.
I don't.
Join way.